Hey there and welcome to the A.D.K rock and metal channel, and today I am going to be talking about or going through 10 of the recent comments that we've had on the channel and my thoughts on them. So as a moderator of the channel, if you like, as the person who basically goes through all the YouTube comments and so forth, I get to read them all, give you the little thumbs up, tick and the heart and all that sort of stuff. That's what I always do, and respond to comments, and sometimes I'll respond to them. And there are a lot of comments we get, we should just talk about a song or someone's personal opinion about a song, and we don't tend to reply to those because it's your personal opinion about what you liked. What we tend to get though are, we do get some nice comments about people who appreciate our honesty, and then we get some complete knob jockeys who love to, is that politically correct? Probably not, but it does feel like that. People are that. I just don't know where that saying comes from, knob jockeys. But we do get a few of them, so let's talk about some of the ones we got. So I'm going to bring up 10 different comments on the screen and talk about them. So the first one I'm going to bring up is, no emotional connection, that's a you problem. Yes, it is a me problem, and that was actually me talking about, I believe we were talking about Spirit Box. I don't understand why people need to be saying that. I've given honest feedback about what I felt about a song, and having a physical or an emotional connection to a song is how you connect. Now, Kirk on that particular song was talking about how he loves that band. He's very connected. He feels something when he listens to it. I've listened to the album many times. So it is a you problem. It's not a problem for me to not feel connected to a song. It's not a problem at all. I'm just sharing it about why I felt that way. So thank you very much for raising that important discussion that it's a me problem. It's not a problem if someone doesn't feel connected to a song. If you don't feel a connection that someone else does to a song, it's not a problem. Talk about, for me, Sleep Tokens is what I'm like that with. Okay, next up. The guy with glasses was so pathetic that I don't know. Should I cry or laugh? But hey, we all have opinions, each of us, and sometimes they are important and rare as arseholes. But they're not. I mean, we all have an opinion. We all have an arsehole, basically. So I can't remember what video we were talking about that. And this is one of the things that sort of diverts people on the channel, because there are 3 of us on this channel who have very strong opinions about the music we like, and stuff that, I mean, Kirk will go on about Faith No More and Meshuggah, and me and Andy will just roll our eyes because they're not bands that we get into, and he's got an absolute love for them. Andy will go on about doom and death bands, and I will roll my eyes because I have nothing to do with them, and I'll talk about new metal and rock bands, and they'll roll their eyes and go, oh my god, I can't listen to this. It's fine, but we respect each other's opinions, and we respect what each other's does, and that's what we try to do in our conversation. So Kirk, in this particular case, was probably sharing his opinion on something, and someone thought he was pathetic. We generally just say, if you're responding to that comment in that way, you're probably pathetic yourself. So there we go. Next one, doing it as a sideline, there is no money in. Oh, so this was in relation to photography. So we were asking about photographers getting in the way of live shows. I like this response. Doing it as a sideline, there is no money in it, and that's true. Videographers' money, you're doing it because you like to post pictures, and you hope, a lot of photographers hope that you build a rapport with the artist, and if they need photos at a later date, you might get some work off of it. This person says, I do it for the love of music, live music, and capturing the passion and raw emotion that musicians put into their art. Yes, there are some togs that don't know etiquette in the pit, and for venues they don't have a pit. Togs that don't know etiquette should learn, either from other togs or security. The main issue I see is the average Joe Blogs video on their smartphone with no respect for the artist or paying gig goers wanting to see their eyes, not a screen held high in the field of view. So this is a big thing. I mean, watching an audience where everyone's filming on their camera. Now, the problem here is you can't stop people filming on the camera, but as long as someone's filming the bits of the event and you know where it's going to be, I don't see why anyone needs to film a show. Just enjoy it. I've been to gigs, I've had my phone out, I've been filming, and then I've realised I'm sitting there doing this, focusing on my screen and not actually enjoying the thing. So I'm like, oh, I've got this camera, I can go back to that night. Well, just enjoy the night. You've got a memory for that. And guess what? There's probably going to be some official videos that someone's going to post. So just don't worry about it. And no one else is going to want to see your shitty little video from that band unless you've got a state-of-the-art camera that's going to capture it in a really good way. No one cares. So just enjoy the night. Stop filming it. Now this next one, I can't remember what this was about. I think this might have been about Nightwish, maybe. Wow, reading some of these comments. Look, no band is for everyone. You guys obviously aren't huge fans, but oh, this is about the warning. You guys obviously aren't huge fans, but enjoy some of their songs. Some you don't care for, and that's okay. Yeah, it is okay. These people get in twisted because you don't rave about every song. It's just dumb. This is actually my favourite song by them because of the message. This isn't about a dystopian future, it's about now. Most people these days have no idea about how to socially interact, and now adults are heading into the same direction. Put the phone down and go fishing or something as I type on my phone. It's true, we are all, I've tried this. Have you ever like put your phone away and just decided to put your phone away for a few hours? It's really odd. You do feel that maybe you've missed something, you need to respond to it. And this is it. I mean, it's really funny doing reviews of bands like The Warning and Nightwish. You can sit there and say, 90% of the video you can say, I really appreciate the band, I really enjoy what they normally do, I think they've got great musicianship, I think they've got great vocals. This song, I don't really like it because of that. And they won't turn around, and the people that comment don't look at everything else that you've said about the band. Go, actually, I appreciate that you do appreciate the band and you reviewed them multiple times, you've given really high scores and yada yada. They go, you know nothing, you don't understand the band, blah blah blah. And you're like, what? Why have you just latched onto one thing? You don't have to like every song. We did a video a long time ago about fans and fanatics, and I asked the question to Andy and Kirk which bands they're a fan of, and they told me, etc. And when asking myself the same question, I said, I'm not a fan of any band, because I'm not going to support a band just for the sake of, I'm not going to be a fanatical fan of a band no matter what they do. So I can appreciate bands like The Warning. I completely support what they're doing, and I can be a fan of their approach to music. But it doesn't mean I'm going to like every song they do. But if just because they do a song that I don't like isn't going to make me walk away and go, oh, I'm not going to listen to them anymore. But I'm not going to keep listening to songs that I don't like or don't get into. And a lot of the time I'll say the same thing. There's nothing wrong with a song just because I don't get into it. But you can't expect reviewers, and if you're watching reaction channels or review channels where all they do is sit there and praise everyone about how amazing they are, you're not getting an honest opinion. The whole idea is dialogue. We want to share, we want to talk, we want people to share their experience about why they like a song. Because maybe we've missed something, maybe we didn't hear something, maybe we looked the wrong way, maybe we haven't got the same context, we haven't got the same background as you have. So it helps us to approach it, and our opinions have changed. A great band that I changed opinion on was In Flames. I couldn't stand In Flames at the beginning when I started reviewing them. I've really grown to like them over time, so there you go. Next one up we have, when you're supposedly reacting to a video, you shouldn't be texting. Okay, so this would have been in a video where I think while we were watching the video, we picked our phone up and did something. So there was a couple of reasons behind that. We may sometimes pick up our phones. Sometimes we're looking up about information about the band. So we've gone into the video and we're trying to get a bit of context. So has there been a lineup change? How long has the band been together? So we'll be, especially on performance videos, we can listen to the song while we're doing it. I do agree that sometimes when there's a storytelling video, you really want to pay attention and not play on your phone. There have been occasions where we will have a drinking game, me and Andy. So when we've done Zoom videos where it's been Andy, Kirk and myself on Zoom, every time Kirk says faith no more or something, we'll pick a word, and sometimes we'll suddenly remember on WhatsApp that we need to, and we'll WhatsApp each other when we're not in the same room, just so that we know what we're doing there. That's about the only reason we'll use our phone. But generally, yes, I do agree that you shouldn't be playing on your phone during it. There's other comments people say about writing note or using your notepad or looking down at a pad and paper. And he likes to make notes. It just gives him a point of reference to come back to, so he does that more often. Okay, sound quality is inferior than it was 40 years ago. What the fuck is the guy smoking? Nostalgia heroin by the sound of it. Okay, so what we're talking about is the Fidelity, and now I actually think we was talking about how we listen to music on our phones nowadays. Everything is more compressed because of the fact that if it's on your phone, you're probably going to be listening to it in some form of compressed MP3 format or FLAC format, etc. Especially if it's on streaming platforms, it all gets compressed down. It's more important about the headphones. the likelihood is not many people have a decent hi-fi system which has got great EQ system. You listen to your music on earbuds, etc., which means you miss a lot of the nuances. Unless you're going to spend £300-400 on a decent set of headphones, you are going to miss elements, whereas before you would have music on in the home and you would listen to it there with either big headphones on or through speakers, and that's what I think he was talking about there. So sound quality in the sense of what we listen to things on can be inferior. Now, if you're talking about headphones, can you remember those big old Sony Walkman headphones that went on that were tinny as crap? The quality of our in-ear headphones and stuff like that is phenomenal in comparison to 20 years ago. But the overall experience is we still buy cheap earbuds, etc. I have several pairs of over-the-ear earbuds for when I'm working. I'm not looking for every level of nuance to be able to hear it, so I know I'm missing that. I'm better to listen to it on my computer with my studio headphones, where I get a much better surround sound, but who has time to do that? Okay, we're getting there. Oh god, I can't even read this comment. The overproducing is egregious. I can't agree. Oh, sorry, egregious. All the bands around the same. All the bands sound the same. A polished pile of shite. I think a second Nirvana is gonna come and save us from the soulless generation of metal. Okay, that's someone who's got an opinion. I can't even remember what we were talking about. I think maybe we were talking about grunge. Maybe there was something about grunge in one of our videos. Right. So in this one, yes, there is a lot of similarities, and the problem is coming out with something original in metal and rock nowadays is almost impossible. All you can do is take multiple influences, shove it all together and try to blend them. There are some bands that have blended it so many things that you can't even categorize them, and it means that the music is hard. It's harder to access, if you like. There is a lot of sound in the same. I think one of the worst genres for this is metalcore. So metalcore bands, there's only so many tricks they can pull out, and they're all using the same tricks, which means there's very few things that can make them stand out. The only thing that can really stand out is if you've got an amazing vocalist that can put your head and shoulders above the rest of them, because the guitarists nowadays are absolutely phenomenal in most bands. Do we need another Nirvana? I don't think, because grunge has never really come back round. What we had is post-grunge, and we had all the alternative scenes of bands like Smashing Pumpkins, Jane's Addiction that came post-grunge, and then we got to post-rock, etc. So I don't think we're ever going to get a true second grunge feel, but there are bands doing the grunge vibe out there, but we're never going to have a big scene like that again, because we don't need that sort of rebellious element. We tend to have more angry metal, so new metalcore is probably the new genre that's kind of kicking around at the moment. Okay, you guys are overthinking it. Either you love it or you are a fucking poser. For all the woke people, last sentence is a joke. Thank you for that. You might have triggered a few. On a serious note, for me, it can't be anything other than, of course, it stood the test of time. BTR together with RIB being my favourite albums of all time. I can't remember what this rates to. I think what I want to talk about here is the overthinking it. So we do get accused of that quite often, isn't that? We're too analytical and we're dissecting it, and we should just relax and just listen to music. And there is an element of that. But if it was just us watching a video going, dude, this is cool. Yeah, this is awesome. And that was our entire video. What's the point of watching a video unless we're actually going to talk about it and compare it? That's the whole idea of a review, is to look at your contemporaries alongside, look what other bands are doing, understand what this band's approach is, who is it appealing to, have they thought outside the box, do they need to think outside the box? And really you're almost analysing bands on their opportunities to be successful further, because we want every band. I mean, it'd be great if every band could be huge, if every band could take over the world and be on the big festival stages, etc. But not every band's going to be able to do that, unfortunately. So what we're looking for when we do these reviews is which bands are the ones that can do that or have the potential to do that, and by giving honest critique and thinking about what we're talking about, we feel that we're offering that opportunity to say these are the things that could, if they were working on these areas, this would give them the best boost to get to the next stage, because these are the bands that these are their contemporaries, and they've got to try and be the head of the line, the head of the class. So I think that's how we approach it. Last two. Jesus, what a cringy reaction stroke review. Anti-backing tracks, complaining about the diversity within the tracks, and just a whole lot of elitism. So we get accused of this a lot. Gatekeepers and elitism, which we're not. We are not gatekeepers. Anyone can come in and do any metal that you like. All we do is we do critiques. So if you're going to come into a metal genre and you're going to throw lots of different categories and different styles in there, we're just going to ask why. So what are you adding value to? Does it work? Does it bring a new audiences? And if we say this isn't metal, we're not saying you can't use the term metal. We're saying it's not metal in the classic definition of what people would refer to as metal band. It may be a subcategory off, so we'd like to it just helps people, because if someone goes, I've got a great metal band for you to listen to, and plays me something, I'm going to listen to it and go, this is not what I expected when you told me this was be metal, because this isn't metal. So your miscategorization. It's like someone saying that I've got a pizza for you, and then bring in pasta in. It's not the same. You can say, but they're both from Italy. They're both Italian dishes. Well, yeah, but they don't taste the same. They're very different, so you can't do that. So that's one of the reasons we get called elitists, is because we're all gatekeepers, and we're not. We are open to every different genre, and if you look at a lot of our videos, there are some stuff that we've really liked, and we don't always agree between the three of us. So this obviously person was very passionate. Anti-backing tracks, we're not completely anti-backing tracks, but we feel that there's an over-reliance. It's almost the way, how do you define your band? There's a 4-piece band, there's only so much you can physically do. So we'll add backing tracks, that will give us this big thing, and that'll make us stand out from the rest of the bands in the scene. It's a way of doing it, but unfortunately everyone's now throwing backing tracks and laptops into their performances, so you can get a very cool sound, and I get why people would do it, because you don't have to pay for a load of musicians. But when people have then said, I can't play my show because my laptop's broken, which was it Fall in Reverse did that one? I can't remember which band it was. Someone did it, but I can't remember who it was that did it. Anyway, when you can't play your shows because your laptops are broken as it's an instrument, I think that's a bad thing. Okay, so my last comment here. My thoughts exactly. No attention span to let a song build, and to complain about a good solo that's not 15 seconds and undone and over. Some real metal elitist complaining here. Oh, I remember this one. So this was a song where the structure was too obvious, and it had a long build-up section in it. Was it Castles or something? White Castles or something like that. And yeah, the intro just didn't work for us. It felt like it was too obvious, too cliched. And again, we're not being elitist here. We're just pointing out that if you listen to a lot of these this scene, it's very obvious. And solos that go on for too long. The problem is that your interest, unless you're a real virtuoso guitar player who loves those solos, you've got to think about the length of time. Do you feel it's adding value? Is it segue? And so we are raising valid points in the point that some people will agree with it. Not everyone will, but I love the fact that we get called to be in some real metal elitists complaining here. We're not complaining. Just because we probably won't listen to that band again, it's not complaining, we're just sharing opinions. And I think this is where a lot of people complain. I'm not complaining now that this person's wrote in it. They're more than happy that they can write it. We don't delete it. We leave all our comments on here for people to talk about. But we don't see ourselves as being elitist. We're sharing our personal opinions, our personal preferences, and our viewpoints on listening to music. And that's why we have 3 people that are into different music. I don't go to the same gigs that Andy and Kirk go to. And if we do, we never agree on what we thought of the bands. There's only probably 2 or 3 bands that we can all go, yeah, we really like. And that's why it works. And we can respect those opinions. Unfortunately, we don't get all those comments in here. But there's 10 comments from our people that, or from people that we've responded to. So let us know what you think about these comments in the comments down below. And maybe you'll appear on the next review of comments. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.